Hello everyone. So in this class we are going to discuss about data definition language command. So as we discussed in the previous class, so in SQL, table is known as relation, row as tuple, and column as attribute. The main SQL command for data definition is the create command. So the create table command is used to specify a new relation by giving it a name and specifying its attributes and initial constraints. The attributes are specified first, and each attribute is given a name, a data type to specify its domain of values, and any attribute constraints such as not null. So we'll discuss the constraints just after a few minutes. The key, entity, integrity, and referential integrity constraints can be specified within the create table statement after the attributes are declared. So following gives the example for the create table command. So here create table is a command and the company.employee is the table name of the table. So you can also write any, or you can write directly employee. So employee is the name of the table. Next is an example, brief example of a create table command where we have created a table named IMP employee, where we have an employee ID, then the data type, that is number of 2, and which is the primary key, then the first name, and first name is of type varchar of size 25. Similarly, we have the next example also. Now, what are constraints? So basically, constraints are there to prevent invalid data entry into tables. For example, suppose we have a user can't by mistake have like forgot to enter uh, any value into one column or in any cell or something, cell or row, then this, if you have a constraint, that not null, it can the called row, that row or that column cannot be null, then the user will immediately get if he had mistakenly left any column blank, then it will get a message that it is wrong. So for this, we can use constraint to do the following. Okay, enforce rules on the data in a table. Whenever a row is inserted, updated, deleted from the table, the constraint must be satisfied for the operation to succeed. Prevent the deletion of a table if there are dependencies from other tables. Now, these are the few constraint types. For example, not null, that specifies the column cannot contain null value. Unique specifies a column or combination of column whose values must be unique for all rows in the table. For example, you can take your email ID, so it's unique for everyone, right? The next, primary key, so uniquely identify each row of the table. For example, the employee ID must be different for everyone. Employee ID or student roll number is different for everyone. Okay, then the foreign key establishes and enforces a foreign key relationship between the column and a column of the reference table. Next, we last constant is the check, which specifies a condition that must be true. So here is an example of the constraints that we have, that the create table, we have given example like employee ID, it's a number, data type number, and it's a primary key. Then first name is a varchar, it must not be null. Then last name is varchar, it cannot be null. Then job IDs, and similarly we have the number salary, which is checked. The salary always must be greater than 0. So this is again we have the for representation, like we have two tables, department ID and DNAME. Here we should remember that we identify the primary key by an underline. Okay, this using an underline. So department ID is unique. It's constraint. It's a primary key. Again, DNAME is it contains the content, not constraint, not null. Similarly, with employee we have this following constants like EID is a primary key, E-name cannot be null, then E-salary must be greater than 100, check salary must be greater than 100, and date of birth is there is no constraint, and then email must be unique, and EID foreign key. The next DDL command is the alter table command. So sometimes it may be required to add something, add a column in the table, or you want to rename it, so you can go for the alter table command. So instead of directly deleting the table, you can just use the alter table. So we can use the alter table statement to change a table without removing it from the database. Among other things, the alter table statement can be used to add or drop a column, redefine a column's data type or size, add or drop table constraint. So adding the column, so we have the following syntax, that is alter table, table name, add column name, data type. So following is the below we have the example also. So alter table is a keyword, then the table name is the employee, then we have again a keyword add, then age is the column, and then we write the data type for it. Next again for dropping a column, again same thing, but instead of the word add, we are using the word drop. And here we don't need to mention the data type for the column name. Then if you want to redefine it, same thing, but we have to use the word keyword modify instead of that drop. Next is the next DDL command is the drop table command in SQL. So sometimes it is necessary to completely remove a table from the database. There are a number of reasons why this may be necessary. So one of the more common reasons is that modification need to be made to the table that cannot be accomplished with the help of the alter table statement. Removing a table is accomplished with the help of the drop statement. So the syntax is simple, like drop table, then a table name. So okay, if you want to like drop the table employees, just write the drop table, the word, and then the table name, the employees. And the last DDL command is the rename. So if it's sometimes required to rename your table. So using the rename table command, you can just rename it. So how can you rename it? This is a syntax, like rename old table name to new table name. So now you'll just check how to do it practically. Okay, just wait a second. And then I'll go for share screen. So for the practical part, I'm using dbfiddle. dbfiddle, you can also install MySQL in your laptop, but for now I'm using this create like dbfiddle, which is available online. Just in Google you type dbfiddle, you'll just get it. So I'll try the first the create table command. Yeah, create table. I'll give the same example whatever is written there. So write the emp id. We have the data type name. We have to type the type data type. I'm giving int. Then I'll write it primary key. Okay. Next, I'm giving if it's the employee ID, then we have to write. Okay, suppose the name must be there, right? So it's a name. Type we are using varchar since it may be of varying length. So like we are giving the size of the varchar. If you like check your previous class video, you'll get to know varchar has need to give some mention, some size of it, and that's it. So that's it. We'll close it and we'll enter it. Sorry. Enter it, and then you can see here the query is running, but it fails. Okay, because I have okay. Again, we'll run it, and it's given query is successful. Now in the result part, you can check there is no result displayed. There's nothing to be displayed. Okay. So what you do in the query SQL part, you need to write something to check the structure. You can just, because we have just now created a structure for it. To check the structure, we write DESC. Okay, this is the command DESC, or you can also write describe. Okay, then the name of the table, which is employee. Then enter. I'll just run it. Okay, now if you check the result, now you check the output, you can get everything. Like it's the, you have the field name as the emp id and the name, type is int, and then it's varchar. Okay, so it's null, no, and you have the key since it is a primary key, so it's like pri, and this is a like. So if you want to, so that here only the table is created, that is the table structure is created using this. That create table is a DDL command, right? So if I want to like insert the values, so like we'll discuss about it later, but now for now I'm just showing you the insert command, which falls under another DML, but now we'll just discuss just one. if we want to like insert into, this is a syntax again, insert into employee table name, then values bracket 1, that is the one is the employee ID. We use name. Suppose I write Tom. Okay. Now again you can check that it comes query successful, but still we can't see any result. If you want to check the result, this time we need to use another command from the like select command, data retrieval. Yesterday, like in the last class I mentioned, there was a data retrieval command. It's a select command, right? If you want to get some information from the database, you have entered this value, you have entered this one Tom into the database. So you have to, if you need to use one more command, is the select command. But before that, I want to tell you that insert into employee values 1, Tom. So as you know, 1 is an integer type, so it is a number, right? So we are not giving anything, right? No like inverted commas or single inverted commas, but in Tom it is a varchar, it is a character, so we need to give the single inverted quotes. Now if I want to retrieve, if I want to check whether the values have been, it's written the query is successful, that is the value have been inserted into the table, right, into the table. So how to retrieve the value? So we'll use the command select star from the table name. Okay, then enter. I'll just run it. So the query is successful. So you can just check, go below. So we have entered EMP ID. So IMP ID name. So EMP ID is 1 and name is Tom. You have entered it. Now suppose I want to use the command alter. If I want to use the command alter to add. Now I think everyone has got like the create command. Like if we used to create the command create table. So how to do it? Very easy. Nothing. Just a syntax for it. We'll practice more. I'll give you assignments also. Then we'll have a clear idea of it. Okay. You can, I have just taken a simple example like employee ID, int, primary key, name, varchar. Similarly, you can add age. So if I come to the next command, that is the DDL command, that is the alter command. So it's the same thing, alter table employee. Then if you want to add it, add age. I want to add the age. Then data type. I hope it's correct. Yeah. Then I'll again run it. Yeah, the query is successful, but still you can't see anything. You need to write again DESC employee. Run it and get it. Now if you check the structure of the table, so you can find the age. So before it was only employee ID and name, but now we have the age. The age is included. We have used the alter table command. Next, if we want to like this drop this column age, so then also it's possible. Alter table employee drop age. So this time the data type is not required. So again, if you want to check, because nothing will be displayed, so write DESC employee. So the query is successful. Now if you check below, what is the name of the query? It's like 6. Again check. There is employee ID and name again. Now, if you wish to drop the table, you can directly just type drop table, then the table name. So before that, I want to show you the rename one. So rename, you can just also write, you can use the alter command, like alter table employee rename to suppose faculty, because faculty is also employee, right? So and again I'll run it. So again nothing will be displayed. So if you have to check, you need to write DESC faculty, no more. We are not going to write the statement like so. I'm just run. Now you can check your query 8 below. So it has been named to faculty. Okay, the faculty has the same structure. Now the last command is a drop table command. So whatever table you have created, if you want to delete it, then you will do it using the drop table command. So drop drop table. So what's the name of the table now? It's faculty, right? Faculty. So I'll run it. So the query is successful, but there is no results to display. So if you want to check whether the table has been deleted or not, just again write DESC faculty and run. Sorry, yeah. So I have given describe faculty, but it gives an error because this table does not exist no more, right? So here is in like we have all discussed all the DDL commands. So I wish you people also try it out, and like if there is any confusion, please give your feedback. You can always ask. Okay. So thank you. That's all. Okay, and one more thing. If I have used a rename command like using the order command. It is also possible, like mentioned in the slide. So you can just go through it. Now, please try it on your own. The like DB Fiddle is present in Google. Just type it and you can do it.